Hey guys, we're back again this week with another naval kit. This time we're going to be looking at Pitroad's 1/700th scale Inazuma. Let's open her on up and take a look. Now, this particular edition boxing of this kit includes an additional set of aftermarket guns and torpedo launchers from Pitroad's detail set line. So we'll be able to do a pseudo mini look at those additions. So, starting out, we've got the main deck and waterline hull. And just as a quick side note, this kit can be built as either waterline or full hull. So that is something to keep in mind. Now, strangely, they decided to do the main hull as two separate halves. Now, granted, having this bottom section here will help get it aligned, but still, getting those two pieces aligned correctly will be a little bit of a challenge. So that is a bit of a slight on their part. Now, moving on to the deck, and I'm not sure how well this will show up on camera. A lot of the plating details for the deck are on the largest side and unfortunately a bit over scale, which is a bit of a downer. Because had they done it in scale, it would be perfect. They did pack a lot of detailing into the deck and some of the superstructure parts. So that is unfortunate that they've gone over scale there. Now, moving on to the next sprue, which does contain a decent number of the armament parts, as well as the mast and some other details. One thing I noticed immediately is that the guns that come with the kit in its base form are a bit overscale, and similarly with the torpedo launchers. Everything seems just that much too big, and we'll see more so when we compare with their aftermarket guns. Beyond that, though, stacks and all that are fine. Mass is fine, though a photo etched version would be just that much better. Continuing on, we've got some additional detailings for the AA guns, a couple different torpedo launcher styles, and a few other odds and ends on this sprue, including the lifeboats, which are okay in terms of detail. Not a whole lot to add there. Next up, we've got the main below water hull section, done as a single piece, thankfully, as well as the props, shafts, rudders, and a little display stand, which is a nice, happy inclusion. Thankfully, in comparison to another kit we reviewed fairly recently, the props are going to be a lot easier to get out as opposed to the other arrangement we saw, so that is a definite plus on side of Pitroad. Now, moving on to the aftermarket detail sets that this come with. Includes a breakdown of numerous additions, including newer life rafts, which are substantially more detailed. Hopefully, this will come out properly on camera. Corrected torpedo launchers. And if we take a look at the main guns, and especially in comparison, properly sized and additionally a little more detailed. So this inclusion is almost a must, absolute must get if you're going to be building one of Pitroad's ship kits, as without it you're going to have a fair amount of issues. Now, moving on to the decals. Decals are nice. The whites are bright. Reds are the right shade of red. I have no complaints here. So that is a nice plus. You do only get marking options for a single destroyer, though, so that is something to be aware of. Paint guide, all the colors are in Mr. Color, so you're going to have to source or convert from there. So now, moving on to the instructions. Now, they do something interesting here. Instead of doing part callouts to the base set, they modified their instruction sheet so that it's calling out to the conversion set parts. So that's a plus in that it's going to keep people from, potentially goofing up and using the wrong parts. And in fact, they make no mention, at least when it comes to the parts that are going to get changed out, to the base kit parts. So that is a bit of a plus, just because it simplifies things. Now, as far as the build sequence, though, it's surprisingly sparse. It's not a whole lot to do, even though it's in this scale. Most of the build sequence is going to be taken up getting the majority of the superstructure attached. Beyond that, there's not a lot to do, actually. They kept it somewhat simple and straightforward, but yeah. No, they really kept the complexity down despite the small size. So, overall, I think the base kit by itself is at best okay. It does have some nice points to it. However, and this is the big however, as I try to get all these sprues back in the box, a lot of the details are over scale. So you're almost forced into buying one of their aftermarket sets, which, to be honest, unless you can find them on sale, are, I hate to say it, a bit overpriced. Now, if you can get a set like this, where they've added on those parts into the box, so you're not having to go aftermarket, then yes, definitely one to look at getting. But without those parts, I would say it's a definite pass, just because, there's not a lot you can do, especially in this scale, to correct mistakes they made. So that was a look at Pitroad's 1/700 scale Inazuma, an okay kit that has some issues, but if you get one that comes with the aftermarket goodies, it's a definite consideration. So, until next time.